그거 할 그 생각이랑 진짜로 한 거잖아요.
그러니까.
이거 진짜 대단하다.
백지로 돌아오는
근데 이게
인생이
대명을
백지로
하면
돌아가거든.
대명을 하면 그 사람들이 받아들일 수 있어야 되는 거야.
조용히 영상에 목소리
You may now begin your
Our country begins with one person, one family, one village.
Maman is one of many villages that can be found in Kyrgyz Republic, where the air is clean and where carefree shepherds look after their sheep, where people go out to their own gardens for fresh fruits and vegetables. Maman is just like every other Kyrgyz village, hospitable and welcoming.
But while from the outside, it seems like everything is perfect in these small communities, talking with these villages paints a very different picture.
Ulan, he is a resident of Maman. He sat down with us to give us an inside look on life in his village. He recently arrived from working in Russia, having not seen his children for years. But without a stable income, he lived life without knowing whether or not he could get enough food to feed his family.
Virtually every family in Maman is experiencing the same problems as one. These farmers are living off just $2, 13% less the average income in Kyrgyz Republic.
1 out of 2 of the families in Maman see at least one family member leave to find work abroad, leaving 70% of farmland unused. And unfortunately, over 50% of adults in this community haven't had the same access, leaving their options limited.
And as we said before, Maman is just like most other villages in Kyrgyz Republic. Hearing Ulan's story, our hearts broke. Wanting to see these issues change, our Enactus team of Kyrgyz National University launched a village development program aiming to restore the hope in the villagers by improving the access to knowledge and resources. So, our program was divided into 2 projects: alternative farming and renewable energy generation.
And now we would like to tell you how it all started and where the village of Maman is today.
Ulan told us about the problems that his village is experiencing, explaining that majority of farmers devote all of their land to potato production. This practice has several issues to these farmers.
First, the price of potatoes in the Kyrgyz Republic is extremely unstable, ranging anywhere from 1 to 45 cents per kilogram, making it impossible for farmers to plan ahead and causes many years to leave the country in search of other work.
Secondly, without crop rotation, these farmers are continuously depleting the nutrients in their soil, and as a result are experiencing smaller yields each year.
Most villagers in our country, and as a result a majority of our population, face the same problems, many of which stem from lack of education and resources. This uncertainty causes many youth to migrate to other countries.
Working with Ulan and other farmers, in 2013 our team began implementation of first phase of alternative farming project, which focused on introducing new and more profitable crop to the area in hopes of increasing incomes and decreasing youth migration. We worked with 70 farmers to obtain and plant valerian root, a plant that is used for medicinal properties and has high demand both in Kyrgyz Republic and abroad.
Why was it easy to switch from potatoes to valerian roots?
One benefit to introducing these crops is that it uses the same farming and harvesting methods as potatoes, making it a very easy change for our farmers.
In order to ensure that our beneficiaries would be able to export their crops, we signed an agreement with company Galen Farm, which has agreed to facilitate export to Germany until the year 2020.
And now, Ulan is planting not only potatoes but also valerian roots, earning an extra $90 each month. On top of this, he has a stable income, and he is able to plan for his family's future. Because of this project's phase, 303 farmers have had the same experience as Ulan and have earned an aggregate income of over $332,000.
Валериан өсімдігін өстіріп алып, бияқтан бизнес құрып алып, шетелге өсіп барып сатамын.
But not all citizens of this village have the same land and water resources. Higher in the mountains, the weather is much more arid, meaning that we couldn't simply try to reproduce the same effective villager root production in other parts of Maman.
This problem required us to analyze what types of crops might work well in other lands. Through this, we began our second phase of alternative farming project, quinoa production.
While this crop is fairly popular around the world, it's still virtually unheard of in our country. What convinced us of viability of quinoa production, however, was that quinoa is able to grow in high elevation and arid regions, making it perfect for a large portion of our country's farmland.
But it's always difficult for people to learn about and completely trust new methods, especially when their livelihoods are at stake. In order to help local farmers transition, we partnered with local agriculture experts, creating a farming union that we used as a platform to provide trainings. To date, over 100 farmers were empowered with new knowledge and have become active members of this union.
Because of this complexity of this phase, we created 5-stage implementation plan. In 2015, we started conducting research to identify the best pilot sites for quinoa production. Next, we distributed seeds and trained farmers on the best practice for their planting.
Currently, we're in the third stage, working with farmers to promote the quinoa in local market.
In the near future, we'll be to begin to export quinoa to different markets around the world.
In all, we have 100 farmers of Maman on how to produce quinoa, 16 of whom planted 70.3 acres to receive a yield of 5 tons of quinoa this year, with income over $58,000.
But during the implementation of both valerian roots and quinoa production, our beneficiaries weren't having as a big soft harvest as we thought they should. Wanting to solve this problem, we found that they were having trouble finding a reliable source of fertilizer. According to our country's Ministry of Agriculture, the total amount should is about 380,000 tons of fertilizer per year.
Since there's a lack of domestically produced fertilizer, our farmers are almost entirely dependent on imports, all of which amount to only 50,000 tons each year. Meaning that most farmers are simply using manure, which alone lacks the necessary nutrients for their crops. As a result, we found that our beneficiaries' yields were being stunted because of a lack of high-quality fertilizer providing the necessary nutrients.
The price for 1 kilogram of chemical fertilizers is about 40 cents. Herbicides typically cost around $6 per kilogram. With the amount needed for a typical farm, our beneficiaries were facing costs of about $218 per season, more than double their monthly income.
Because of these high costs, as well as lack of consistent source of fertilizer, our team researched the different ways for our beneficiaries to get access to the materials they needed for their planting.
We found that the high-quality fertilizer is actually a new method of biogas production. Not only this, but biogas production is an efficient and natural way to meet our country's energy needs and can be used in any appliance that uses traditional gas.
In addition, villagers could use these generators throughout the year to heat water and to produce a gas which could be used for a large variety of household and commercial needs. In all, biogas could solve many of the problems which our beneficiaries have been facing, taking care of their energy needs and giving them consistent access to cheaper and more efficient fertilizer. So we started our second project, renewable energy generation.
While researching biogas production, however, we ran into one major problem. Biogas production had an extremely high startup cost. Just one biogas generator can cost between $5,000 and $50,000 depending on quality. In short, our beneficiaries in most farms in Kyrgyz Republic simply can't afford this.
But our team's philosophy is that any problem is a new opportunity.
We saw an opportunity to create our own biogas generator. This invention was created by Aybek, one of our students majoring in engineering. Aybek worked with 6 unemployed villagers. They took an action to make this invention a reality.
The construction was extremely simple and easy to use, with only 3 main parts: a reactor, a gas container, and a heating system. There is only 50 imported biogas generators throughout our country, which which are not working in wintertime and less effective than our nomad gas.
Why was this innovation the best solution?
First, production cost is only $540. Second, it's extremely mobile. It could be moved from one village to other village. Third, it needs small amount of energy to start the work and after to function self-sufficiently. Fourth, it needs manure of 1 cow to produce enough gas for 5 hours of working.
Finally, in November 2016, we finished our first mobile biogas generator.
ана машина бірінші 400 литр ауыз құямыз, ал батарея болса мен айналып
İşte gitti beni, şengel dilemesi bilinci. Şimdi oyuncak oldular. Oynamak atmadı oldu. Şimdi işte bana gazka tamak bulup da işte tamak bastı şu anda ne o kalğanına gelen. Şimdi bana onu söndürüyor, unuttu buldu. Sürekli halde değil tamam o parçayı. Bu kursa sürekli jakmayı kesin. Ahır otça öyle ot kırığı atıyor bu can ot çapağlasın. Çay yeme kaynağı da mı? Çay kaynap durup da takaya koysun takayla kaynap durdu. Çayı yerine koyup kaynaytın da gel. Şullap bir kaynap durdu. Kaynap aldı. Ot koyun kışın öyle o. Hiç karacağı öyle şöyle bir tamağa pastayla kışın öyle. Ama sürekli var adamda sürekli olduğunu olmaz.
In order to create a way to sustainably manufacture and sell biogas generators, we empowered 6 unemployed villages how to promote the generators, how to comply with all safety and licensing requirements, and gave them the entrepreneurial skills necessary to run a successful business.
They started the company AKS, which is focusing on marketing, producing and selling biogas generators to our beneficiaries and other farming communities around the country.
This academic year, AKS sold 38 other biogas generators, earning each member of the company an income of around $20,000.
These generators have provided our farmers with high-quality fertilizer, which influenced harvest of 207 acres. Due to using 126 tons of fertilizer, they also produced about 4,000 cubic meters of biogas.
While all of these projects have improved the lives of our beneficiaries, our team knew that they needed to be prepared with strong and most effective training programs in order for change to be sustainable, so that our projects could be reproduced in other villages throughout our country.
Every needs assessment that we conducted showed that one of the primary issues for farmers in villages in our country is the lack of quality education. For this reason, throughout our work with our beneficiaries, we provided series of training. This training focused on business and personal development, including following sessions:
Financial literacy, needs assessment, marketing and sales, water resource management, business and contract negotiation.
As a result of these trainings, now our beneficiaries have knowledge and confidence necessary to sustainably manage and expand their businesses. They also help their communities see what can be possible with innovation.
Today, we are happy to say that the village development program is sustainably functioning, giving the opportunities for each of our beneficiaries.
Due to the hard work of our Enactus team members, we have seen huge improvements in the lives of the villagers living in Maman. Through this, 326 farmers now have a stable income through valerian roots and quinoa production, made possible by their newfound access to inexpensive and high-quality fertilizer.
Almost more importantly, however, is the 326 farmers who restore their hope and vision, going from feeling like they were unequipped to achieve their dreams by improving their knowledge and access necessary to make their businesses thrive.
And not only have the farms that you work with been transformed, but so have the communities surrounding them.
Many other community leaders have expressed the need for similar changes and will have the opportunity to learn from our project beneficiaries. We have started plans to work with 3 neighboring villages to implement the aspects of our program.
Through our project, we met with 120 youths who felt like they had no other option than to leave their families, their homes, just to make a living somewhere else, but now have the opportunity to stay and work right in their own villages.
With pride, we can say that we have touched the lives of about 1,800 of our country's most vulnerable citizens, over 71% of the population of Maman village.
In total, our projects have earned our beneficiaries a profit over $300,000 and saved over $5,000 by using our high-quality fertilizers.
It all started with one person, Ulan, who was willing to take a risk and make his life better.
From Ulan, this vision spread to other villages surrounding Maman. And now, over 400 Kyrgyz villages are waiting for us.
We believe that our village development program is changing the lives of these villagers.
And is ultimately building a better future for our country. Thank you. We are Enactus Kyrgyzstan.
Thank you to the team from Kyrgyzstan. Judges, you may now begin the question and answer period.
So, three questions. One, how did you choose quinoa? Two, how are you going to get quinoa to the market given it's not really produced there? And three, can you tell us about the ownership of Nomad Gas? Is that owned by Enactus, or I didn't really understand that piece?
So the first question, thank you. We were doing research, and at that time, together with UN specialists, they were conducting some information about the quinoa, and we were doing research in Maman. So we found that it is really preferable and can grow in Maman. And then second one, the seeds were taken by UN FAO organization. And the third one is that AKS is owning everything. They are selling the biogas and producing them.
Great projects. Can you elaborate a little bit what you achieved in the last 12 months, because your projects are lasting a little bit longer?
Thank you for your question. For the last months, we achieved the results in the first project, alternative farming. We sold 5 tons of quinoa, and we got 70 tons of valerian root. And in the project biogas production, we sold 36 biogas constructions.
Great job, guys. Very inspiring. Just again, to sort of follow up on that question, just clarity. So the $300,000 in profit, was that all done in 2016?
Yeah, thank you for the question. All these results is for this academic year, 2016-2017.
Thank you for the presentation. What about technical development of this new equipment and service?
So the idea came to one of our students, but together with the Academy of Science and other specialists in this sphere, we conducted several trainings to our beneficiaries and made together this construction.
Again, excellent project. Have you thought about how you're going to scale the machine? Is it scalable? Are you selling it elsewhere?
So thank you for the question. We are working a lot about our biogas generator, and we are working a lot with experts, with local experts, and with academic of science. So we have a special license and special requirements of biogas Actually, our biogas have a government license to work, so it's safety, and we have special security system in our biogas generator.
And as we mentioned before, 70% of all our country is farmland, and a lot of people cannot afford like really expensive ones. So that's why we started to producing our nomad gas.
Sorry, I tried to do the question in a different word. How can you make your idea better? So what is the plan for the next 12 months which you have in your mind?
So we're planning for the Bolivian route and quinoa production to use more unused farmlands in this village, and also we are going to work with 3 other villages to implement some of the aspects that is make sense to their community. And also for the third nomad gas, we want to produce even more bigger size, and then we're going to try to make the price lower so other farmers can afford this too.
Your time has expired. Judges, please join me.